Thanks, Mike. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. It's media crowd.
Chris Bolden, do you want to kick things off?
Hi, Sean. You okay?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Yeah, I'm imagining there's a great deal you saw to your liking there this afternoon.
Sorry, I missed the first bit.
Yeah, I imagine there's a great deal you saw to your liking this afternoon.
Yeah, we spoke to the players in the week about getting back to doing the basics really well, and the tactical understanding of the performance, the way that we work, the two strikers, and I thought they showed that. I thought the players put on a good performance in that vein, and we still know that we can add with the quality, but it's not easy down here. You're not going to have the ball as much as what you'd hope. You have to work hard when they've got the ball, and I thought we did that. And the mentality was the biggest thing for me. It's an awkward moment. We've had some real challenges at the moment. We've had players missing, we've had players with a couple of days training, we've had other players coming back from injury who have really, there's 2 or 3 out there today probably wouldn't be if we had a normal set of circumstances. So, the mentality was really firm today, and that's going to be important going forward.
Yeah, you look to a lot more like yourselves, didn't you? Certainly defensively.
Yeah, I mean, we've not been far away, but, you go through that run of games, which we've spoken of, and you've covered them, and, we're a goal shy of having more points, and a goal shy of that feel-good factor of wins, but you don't get them. And then you have a couple of iffy performances where we're off a little bit at Leeds and stuff like that. Then we've had a break, then we've had COVID. And we really spoke about doing the basics well, building on that. And I thought they did today, not only the physical side of the game, which is difficult for a few of them because, as I said, they haven't had hardly any training, but also the tactical side. I thought we did that very well today.
Yeah, so a lot of good individual performances. You mentioned Eric had COVID. I mean, he's performed remarkably well in the circumstances, hasn't he?
Yeah, he looked like he was struggling early a little bit. Obviously they've not been under the sort of physical pressure of a game for a while, and then he came through it and did very well. And J-Rod's had tonsillitis this week. He's only had a couple of days, a day's training really. Vincent's still suffering with his hernia, so you might have to have that done. We'll get that looked at again. I mean, there's a number of people who are still patching sort of together and trying to get them out there and trying to get them working. So, as I said, with all the sort of situations around a performance today and getting planned for a performance, it's been very, very difficult. I've only had a group that we could work with really in the last 2 days. I mean, because we just didn't have the bodies. So, but look, lots of teams are going through a similar situation. We're probably just slightly more at stretch because we don't carry the same numbers as most teams.
Yeah, what was the thinking with Connor coming in for Louts?
Well, just we've got to excuse me. We've got to look at what we're doing as well. As a staff, we've got to look at change. We've got to look at what can activate a change. What can maybe give you something different. And Connor was just one of them. We've got to start using him. We've got to start looking at him. We want that demand from the group. Bardo's right in the hat, but he'd only trained for a day this week. So he'd had to have an injection in his lower back. That's worked. He's another player who you miss sort of 6-7 days. You have 1 day's training. It's not the perfect scenario. Connor's done well today, to be fair to him, because he's only had 60 minutes of a under-23 game in weeks. So he's done very well, but he's a very fit lad. We know that. So
do you think you'll get Vince in for an operation in this fortnight, or is that just that case of battling on with? Yeah,
well, we'll get another... we'll get some reaction from him and how he's feeling. He worked very hard today. And there's a funny things, they can disrupt you, then they settle and you can get by. How long do you get by for? So with this international break, there might be a decision in the next few days. We'll have to wait on that. And obviously we'll see if that happens, and then see if what happens with Maxwell and in the cup over there, and see if they stay in or they come out. So, that's the way it's been at the minute. One gets fit and then one goes down, or one gets COVID, and it's been a testing time without a doubt.
Presume you're off to Dubai now.
Say that again, sorry.
Presume you're off to Dubai now.
No, certainly not. I'm not going off to Dubai. No, I wish I was. And Dubai's when you're about 10th, when you're us, trust me.
Are you going to take the lads away, or is it just giving them some time off?
No, we'll find that balance. Some need a bit of a break for different reasons. Others need training. We're always, like all teams, you're always looking to find the right balance. And mainly the thing is to try and stay well, use the balance of fitness and rest. And, hopefully over the next 2 weeks, we start getting numbers back, fit and well and sharp.
And hopefully add a face or two, maybe.
Sorry?
Hopefully add a face or two in the window, potentially.
Well, we'll see. It's always an interesting business, that here. So, if we can align the right players and the money is available to align the right player, sorry, then we will do.
Spot on. Cheers, Sean.
Cheers, thanks.
Thanks, Chris. Alex James.
Hi, Sean.
Hey.
Do you feel that sort of gives you a real platform now, that point, and the way you sort of achieved it with the resilience of old, I guess, and that strong draw we've talked about from Burnley in the past?
No, it's a building block. We want to move in the right direction. We just felt it was appropriate to really get back to the basics, work on the basics, work on the fact that when especially teams like this, you're probably going to have to defend well. You're probably going to have to do it from a good shape, and you are going to have to work hard. So I was very pleased with that. We still know, challenge all season has been finding the big moments. So we had 3 or 4 moments today when we're in very good positions. We couldn't find the right pass or the right run. But, you need a building block, and that's another one today. It doesn't guarantee the next one, but it gives us a nice platform to keep building on that performance, because I thought the mentality and the performance was spot on when you come down to a place like this.
And those are the traits, aren't they, that have served you well in the past, not conceding goals, digging in, showing a resilience, and that's what's been able to keep you in the league in previous seasons.
Yeah, we've not been far off. I mean, like I said, a moment ago, if we're a goal or 2 away from having another 4, maybe 6 points in games when they've been tight, we've had chances, we haven't taken them. And if you apply that, then all of a sudden it looks a bit different. But the facts are the facts. We didn't take them chances. We weren't far away, but I thought today showed a real resilience, a real base to work from. Now we've got to continue. I spoke to players after and said, okay, that's another building block. And now can we add to that? You've got to still do the things we did today, be diligent, work, and shape and defend well. Now can we add to that when we've got the ball? A bit of calmness that comes with a bit more confidence, a bit of calmness that comes when you are creating chances, you're scoring goals. So, that's the next layer. But you don't forget this, you've got to deliver that again. The point is, can we layer on top of that and bring that moments of quality to performances?
Just a word on your strikers. Obviously, limited opportunities in front of goal, but they both.
Laptop's doing it again. It's the only laptop does it every single week. Every single week.
Only yours, Alex.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're okay. The strikers today seem to leave everything out there. We mentioned Vids is playing through a little bit of a problem, and J-Rod's suffered with COVID as well. Just how important a role did they play in leading from the front for you?
Yeah, I mean, Jay's worked really hard. He's had a spell of tonsillitis this week. So he's had 3 days where he's been laid up. So he's only literally trained yesterday. So he's done very well physically to be out there and work hard for the team. Vince as well with his hernia situation. Look, I mean, it's not ideal for anyone at the minute. Certainly not for ourselves. We're just doing the best we can. Players are as well. You saw that today with their diligence to be ready, even if they're not truly ready from training schedules. But we're working hard, the right mentality to go and take on a performance today.
How's Charlie Taylor? What's the sort of prognosis with his injury?
Yeah, he got a knock on his foot last week, so we had to try and fit in a bit of a training game. So obviously we haven't had that many games, and we haven't had players. Obviously involving a number of the kids at the club, and he unfortunately got a knock on his foot, and so that's cost him. So we'll see how that settles down.
Should be okay to think for Watford, given you've got 2 weeks, or
I would hope so, but you never know. So we'll have to wait and see what the next 4 or 5 days.
And just last one on the transfer window, and I know it's difficult in January, and we've spoken about it time and time again. Are you sort of hopeful at the moment, optimistic, or?
Well, them words mean nothing, it's contracts and money, and then someone signs it. That's the truth of it. So use any word you want, but that's the truth of it. You need someone to be there, sign a bit of paper, and then they join the club. Until it's at that moment, you can use any word you want about deals.
Did today sort of show that if you are able to add, it'll be in attack or perhaps creatively, that maybe is where you're short?
No, I think we're always looking for quality. We've always been looking for quality. Quality costs a lot of money. So if we've got a lot of money, then we'll buy quality. If we haven't got a lot of money, we'll buy players that we think can add to the quality in different ways and make the unit stronger.
That's all. Thanks, Sean. Well done, Slate.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Alex. Jim?
Hi, Sean. Sean, late on there, you had 2 attacking counter opportunities for Dwight McNeil. One, he took a shot and goal, and another one where he failed to deliver the cross. Do you feel those opportunities you should have done more out of?
It's easy saying it as a manager, but they're out there doing it. It's not so easy. So finding them technical moments is a difficult skill, particularly in the Premier League. I think Dwight's certainly a player who's got them. And he hit a stinger early on when he nearly caught their keeper off his line, and I thought he added to the performance when he could with his quality. But there's a number of players here we still want more from. We want more of what they are. We want more freedom in their performances. But often that comes with confidence as well, and we can build from confidence by doing the basics well. And Dwight, amongst a number of players, they did the basics very well, and the team diligence worked very hard, to affect the team diligence.
And Sean, you mentioned about the COVID cases and the illness and the players away at the African nations. Has this really been a testing time for your squad, really testing the depth of your squad in terms of the resources that you have had to work with in the last week or two?
Yeah, I think in the past we've had tough periods. We've had a group, and it's just maybe their form's gone a little bit. But this time we've got all sorts going on. It's been really, really difficult. Whether it's a player sale, whether it's COVID, whether it's injuries, whether it's finding the format to work from, because obviously our game schedule has been all over the place because of COVID. So it's just been a very, very difficult situation. But like I say, I don't overthink it or overegg it, because there's other teams that have done it as well. It just puts us a bit more at stretch because we don't carry the same numbers as other teams.
Yeah, and finally for me, Sean, when you're looking ahead now, how vital would it be going forward if you can maybe in the next week or two put back-to-back wins together to give you that sort of momentum, that sort of upward sort of push?
Yeah, well, like I say, it always sounds easy when you're talking about it. We've got to go and perform it. We've got to go and take action. So that's the first thing. Having the right mentality, as we did today, to go and take on the next one without overthinking too many after that. The next one's the most important one. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Mike?
Dyche, hi.
Hi, Mike. How are you going? I haven't spoken to you, Age. You all right?
I'm good, thanks, mate. When you sold Chris Wood, or when Chris Wood left Burnley, should I say, a lot of people thought, oh, well, that's Burnley done for. But that performance today must give you genuine hope that you'll be able to cope without him, even if you don't get bodies in the remainder of the transfer window.
Yeah, I've never lacked belief in my players, that's for sure, or myself and my staff for that matter. The challenge of football in the Premier League is an obvious one. We've had experience of it before. I certainly have. And I'd like to think that we work very diligently with the players as a staff, and they pay us back with their mental approach and their attitude towards the challenge. And I think that was on show today. Yourself, you can't just have one moment. You've got to have many moments like that. But I think coming down here with the diligence we did and the performance and certainly the energy and the mentality of the group is very important, and it's been intact for a long time here. So that is certainly a strong building block or a platform for us to continue working from. And then you've got to have the quality, obviously. We've got to have the details, particularly in the final third, because the defending third has been not far away all season, actually. Defensively, we've been pretty strong, generally speaking. It's just the attacking moments when we've got to do better with.
Top man, thank you.
Cheers, Mike.
Thanks, mate. Zaya?
Hi, Sean.
Hi.
Hi. Looking at the league table from the 10th place downwards, Burnley conceded least number of goals. Now, are you quite happy with the defensive side of your team? And, I find it quite strange that Burnley have conceded least number of goals below 10th, and they're at the bottom of the league. How do you sort of balance that out? How do you think you need to improve on that?
Well, we've always been a team amongst many who you have to get the right side of moments in games, and we haven't done that this season. So the odd game where we've been beaten, it's been a soft moment for us defensively, and we haven't taken the big moments in attack. And it's been that kind of season, and there's been a couple of blips where we haven't done well, and that type of thing that can happen. I don't think we've been far away this season at all, but the facts are the facts. We are bottom of the league. That's the truth of it. So it's no good keep looking backwards. We've got to keep looking forwards. And today we wanted to get them back to the absolute basics of what we do, and that is being very organised, playing strong, playing fair, being on the front foot with a front foot mentality, and giving physically everything that it takes to win Premier League matches. Now, if we can do that and then add when the belief sort of comes a bit freer and the game comes freer, because it just builds confidence, and that's what we're going to need to do, and that's what we'll look to do. It always starts with hard work, and the players have worked very hard today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Cheers, everyone. Thanks, crowd.